welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Raghava, and this is Bug Ninja Tempo. The assignment from Raghava was play Kaito in a bug shell, and for bonus points, it would be cool if we flip Rakshas's Bargain off of Yuriko. Those were all the directions I was given, and fortunately for me, about 4 months ago on the channel, Patreon subscriber Trazaeth submitted a bug Kaito list, so I had some groundwork to go with. That old list was already in my Mox field, and I had a whole video where I played that deck and had thoughts about how I would improve that deck if I were to play it again. And here we are. The metagame has changed a little. There have been a couple bans since then. Some cards have been printed, like the Bargain didn't exist last time. But the idea of this deck, of course, is we kind of get to masquerade as a normal 2-for-1 tempo kind of deck where, you know, we got Tamiyo, lots of decks play that. Fatal Push, Bowmaster, Thoughtseize, lots of decks play those. Baleful Strix, not in that many decks, it's pretty soft to Orcish Bowmaster, but it's around. It's not going to raise any massive alarms. And Kaito is a known quantity in the format, which means blocking something like Tamiyo becomes a priority when your opponent's showing 3 mana. Blocking Baleful Strix always sucks. You want to trade off your Endurance or Murktide Regen or whatever it is that can fly and block this thing, just in case I have Kaito. And the extra tension of Yuriko is sweet, because Yuriko ninjutsus for 2, which means even if your opponent is on the level that they might get ninjutsu'd on 3, we got more of that going on than normal. And there are some exciting top-end cards to flip. I mean, there's a bunch of lands in the deck. There's 20 lands in the deck, and then a bunch of 1 and 2 drops, obviously, but there's also 2 Kaitos, 4 Forces, a Murderous Cut, 2 Bargains, and a Murktide in this deck. Some big hits off Yuriko, and its card advantage even if you're not lava axing your opponent. And the cool thing about Yuriko is this: whenever a ninja deals damage, you get to do this, and Kaito is a ninja. And Kaito's emblem is ninjas you control get +1/+1, which applies to Yuriko. So they help each other out, in addition to being 2 pieces of the same puzzle. And like I mentioned, these 4 little ninja sub-theme is supported by just normal powerful magic cards. The only thing that might look a little out of place here, 1 main deck Dauthi Voidwalker. It is both solid in the metagame and unblockable, so I gave it a slot. And there it is. This is Bug Ninja Tempo. Let's get it. Announcing the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy Win-A-Mox weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Saturday, August 2nd, the BCDL Legacy Open 4, a Mox Jet for first and dual lands for top 8 guaranteed, with more duels and staples added down to 24th place if the event gets 100 players. Sunday, August 3rd, Stronghold Mox Diamond for first, dual lands for top 4, and Force of Wills for top 8 guaranteed, with prizes scaling up at 48 and 55 players. Both events are unlimited proxy playtest card friendly. Anyone can play. Please review the playtest card policy on the event pages. Signups and additional details are linked in the video description or included in a full post in my YouTube community tab. I'll be there. I hope to see you too. I'm on the play in round 1 with the most BoshNRoll hand of all time. I think most Magic players would mulligan this, and I probably am going to as well. Being on the play with Surveil is the only thing that's giving me any hope here. If I hit any 1 or 2 drop on turn 2, I am ninjaing out, but I am going to mulligan. Alright. Mulligan rewarded. This is a much more normal and healthy hand. I'm going to keep bottom basic island and lead on Undercity Sewers. Alright, we're playing against some Eldrazi. This is going to be a Wasteland deck, but if they Wasteland Undercity Sewers instead of a green source, that's fine. Don't think Spell Pierce is what this game's going to be about. Kaito excellent in a matchup like this one. They exiled 2 more Devourers in an unclaimed territory to their Devourer trigger. My opponent said it's nice to finally pair into me. They watch all my videos. Shout out to the Patricks. Great to hear from you. Glad we get to battle. Ooh, this Thoughtseize might change things. Alright, I'm going to go fetch land Thoughtseize. Alright, Chalice of the Void was the type of card I was worried about, but there's two of them, so I'm not going to worry about it. Eldrazi Linebreaker is my next biggest problem. I can beat Thought Not Seer. Yeah, Linebreaker has Trample, grants Haste. Kozilek's Command and Linebreaker are the two that I'm considering here, and I think it's Linebreaker. Alright, you're out of here. You're too scary. I do not have a second Surveil Land in the deck. The version I played 4 months ago did have both a Sewer and a Hedge Maze, and I decided to cut that in favor of more solid mana. Ooh, Lotus Petal. Well, we're working on perfect information. And as far as mana sources they could have found, that's not the worst one. Wasteland. Oh, yeah. I'm going to waste this Cavern of Souls. They're struggling on mana over there, and I would like to punish that for as long as I can. Drop. Baleful Strix get in there. I'm going to start drawing cards. Strix is a much higher impact card than Bowmaster in this matchup. And we got to hope they don't draw Eldrazi Temple or Ancient Tomb. I just passed back with no play. I'm going to play another Strix here. And I am now drawing all the 1-drops. There is a Witherbloom Command and a Brazen Borrower in my deck that could deal with this Chalice. Murktide Regent. I like the wagon that one's dragging. Okay, I could fire this Thoughtseize and Ponder into the Void to make Murktide bigger. Alright, I'm at least going to spend the Thoughtseize. Oh no, I forgot about Chalice. What's wrong with me? And then I will play the Murktide. I'm actually going to fetch first, so I can leave Wasteland in the graveyard, in case I draw Witherbloom Command. Alright, Murktide's in there. 6/6. Kept the Ponder back. Again, if I draw Witherbloom Command, I don't want to be totally all in here. Though I think this does what it needs to do. The clock's not different between 7 and 6 with the Bowmaster ping. Fatal Push, another card I cannot cast. Well, will not resolve. Opponent's at 9. They got to do something big here. I'm going to jump in this Bowmaster and just try to get it done. They're currently dead on board. Discarding Devour of Destiny to hand size. Kaito. I'm not going to reveal that if I don't have to, but if they come up with a removal spell, now I have an extra trick. Cool. Alright. They kept a hand that relied on Devour of Destiny to make it work, and Devour of Destiny betrayed them. And then Wasteland plus Thoughtseize with the info. Not a bad sequence. Consigned Memory comes in. Barrowgoyf comes in. None of these other cards look very good. Bowmaster is not high impact against them. Dauthi Voidwalker is literally just an unblockable 3/2, but can't block is the actual flip side of Shadow. The joke of the Shadow mechanic is that it's balanced because it can't be blocked, but it also can't block. But every Shadow creature was so aggressively costed that you would never block with it anyway. And in this matchup particularly, my opponent will have bigger creatures than me, and they don't care about their graveyard. Therefore, Dauthi Voidwalker, not that good. Spell Pierce could nab a Chalice or a Kozilek's Command at some point. I don't think I'm in the market for that, though. And Bowmaster is pretty mid. These are the changes I'm making. Here we go. Okay, I can Force of Will something, and Wasteland is a powerful effect in this matchup. Leyline of the Void, alright. Oh, 2 of them. Let's go. Okay, so Murktide Regent cares about that, but in general, my deck is not that graveyard-centric. A Lotus Petal. Well, I can Fatal Push that down the road. How much damage do I want to take from it? All right, well, I'm not going to force something that I can Fatal Push. Those are just the rules. Okay, taking those beats. I'm at 16. Opponent's got 2 cards in their hand. I'm going to Wasteland here. I'll take another 4 from the Linebreaker and then push it next turn. Push it real good. Cavern of Souls. Hopefully a little late to the party. I go to 12. I think given the option, I would start most games at 12 life if it meant my opponent had 2 cards in their hand. I have Ugin. Okay, so they can cast a 3-drop here. Glaring Fleshraker. You can force that because Cavern of Souls cannot tap for colored mana next to Eye of Ugin. That's just like one of these weird things that comes up when you're an Eldrazi gamer. Underground Sea, Fatal Push. I am revolted. I think Wasteland is more important than getting on board right now. I'm going to take out Eye of Ugin because that represents 2 or more mana, where Cavern only represents 1. I don't have any counterspells in my hand anyway. Wasteland. Sure, we could play this game. Oh, casting a spell. Chalice on 1. Alright, so they're officially all in over there. But I have a plan. I'm going to cast Baleful Strix, get that card draw, and then Yuriko can do stuff. Off 2 mana. Remember the difference between 2 and 3? Yuriko, Kaito. This Wasteland. I honestly don't even think they can afford to Wasteland me, but they're doing it anyway. If they drew another Wasteland, that would make sense. But what's the plan to win this game with 1 mana? Here we go. Tropical Island, Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. Ka-chow! Hit the bargain? Force of Will! We got the full Lava Axe. And Yuriko currently uncontested right now. Their 2 cards in hand would have to be multiple mana and a creature to not get cracked with Yuriko again. A Cavern. Is there a 2-drop creature in this hand? Is there a 2-drop creature in this deck? All right, we are in there. Yuriko getting another taste. How big can we go? Another Force of Will. Yuriko's attacked for 12 this game. And Baleful Strix. Keep it going. Back up Yuriko in case they find a blocker. Yeah, this game ended a lot faster than it would have if I wasn't ninjaing. If Baleful Strix had to do all 20, opponent had a chance to dig out. Ooh, they have something. Kozilek's Command. Well, they know I have multiple forces. I'm going to pitch the Murktide Regent that they successfully turned off with the ley lines. Undercity Sewer. I'm going to use that to help set up a Murderous Cut. GG. All right. 3 hits, 3 5-drops. Kill you from 20. GG, opponent. I'm glad we could finally queue into each other. That was a bit of a beating, though. I hope you had fun. GG's. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the draw for round 2. I'll keep this in. Island Ponder. There are rules, and we live by them. Bonus on 6. Scalding Tarn. Good news. That's a land. That means Balustrade Spy is probably not in their deck. Temio. That's a card that's also in my deck, but not currently in my hand. Ponder. Force of Will, Brainstorm. What is Force of Will for versus a Temio deck? I do like Brainstorm, and if I take Brainstorm, I have to take 2 of these cards anyway. So yeah, I'll put the Force of Will in my hand, draw the Brainstorm next turn, and then move the lands away. I can Petty Theft the Tamio, whether it's a creature or a Planeswalker. What if this is the mirror and I get Yuriko right now? I mean, 2 basic lands. There's a good chance of it. I mean, not a good chance, it's not that popular in the metagame, but it's non-zero. We dodged. Deep Trauma revealed from playing in Ninja metagames before. I think if they crack their clue in the end step, I'll bounce Tamio right there. Okay, here we go. Underground Sea, Petty Theft the Tamio. Make you do some work to get this back. Cool. Didn't daze me, and now I have Brazen Borrower on an adventure. That could turn on Yuriko. Wasteland, slow me down a little bit. Not a huge deal. I got lands. Alright, Tamio's back. Deck full of removal, where are you? Brainstorm time. Okay. I don't think I need this Tropical Island or this redundant Yuriko. And I'll fetch for a Tropical Island and play Tamio here. And funny enough, this is right on time because they are potentially representing Kaito next turn. If they're not representing Kaito on this mana, I'm not going to play around Tainted Strike. Is that the one that gives Death Touch, +1/+0 Death Touch? Or is that +1/+0 Infect? I don't even know. Some card exists, I'm sure, that would have blown me out in combat there. Some black combat trick that just gives Death Touch. They did not shuffle their Ponder. That's not a Wasteland. Orcish Brewmasters. I'm not, like, hyped to play against this card, but what would I pitch to it? Bargain? I could also just shove Murktide next turn and have the biggest thing on the planet. Alright, yeah, whatever. You have a Bowmaster. Okay, Blue to Delta, attack, get my clue in the bank, and I'm on that aggro life. I could Ponder, but that opens up Daze, and I don't think I need Murktide to be any bigger. Bloop, there it is. 5/5. You've never seen anything so big in your life. Yeah, I'm going to force this pitching Ponder. We did it. Another Goyf. 3/4. A paltry, tiny little beast. No attacks from the opponent. I'll get my Undercity Sewer here. We are in the sewer. Orcish Bowmaster, hell yeah. Put that on top. Bowmastering a Bowmaster, probably the best feeling there is in Magic. Maybe in the entire world, in all of human existence. Attack. Good block. Bowmaster. This Bowmaster also provides a parade of blockers for the Nether Goyf. Makes that clue a problem. Right, I could get Kaito'd here. I have tapped low. I'm going to block Nether Goyf, let Orc Army through. If I get Kaito'd, then I will show them Yuriko, a more powerful ninja. Okay, here we go. Probably pick up Tamiyo. Yep, alright, Kaito confirmed. These things happen. It's not a big deal. If they lock down Murktide, Kaito will die to... Oh, nothing. Never mind. No, it won't. Right, Kaito gets to exist. Right, I am going to attack my opponent with both creatures and hope that they block Tamiyo, because I'd like to pick up and redeploy the Bowmaster. Yep, it would make no sense for them to do that, though. Right, my own ninja, a different one. Surprise. Right, big trigger. Can we keep hitting 5s on this for the rest of the game? The rest of the league? Haha, the bargain. Take 6. We're in there. We're in there. Might still get tempoed out here, but we are in here. Opponent's at 6. Suddenly, a serious life total to think about. Kaito's 4/5. This is 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Do I want to go to 4? I could also chump Kaito with Tamiyo. I think I would like to chump Kaito. And I don't want to, but I'm doing it. Oh no, a Bowmaster. Killing my Bowmaster. And I'm probably going to lose this game, but it's Kaito that did it, which is just awesome proof of concept for the card Kaito. Not that it needs my defense at this point. Duskmorn has been out for a long time. But concept works. Okay, so I'm at 8. Kaito might lock down Murktide again next turn. They've got good blockers for Yuriko. I think I am going to Rakshasa's Bargain. Baleful Strix that I can't cast. Wasteland that I'm not going to use. Dothy Voidwalker that I'll be dead way too late for. I think it has to be Voidwalker Wasteland, even though those are not good cards. Yeah, I think I have to Murderous Cut Nether Goyf this turn. Alright, I'll take Voidwalker and Wasteland. Play the Wasteland and pass my turn. Yeah, no reason to attack here. They're tapping Yuriko instead. They're going for the win right now. This is 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm dead anyway. 4, 5, 6, 7 if I have to fetch. Yeah, okay. Well, dead anyway. Yep, Kaito. Too good. It was more powerful than my ninja in that particular moment. All right, Barrow-Goyf, Hull Breacher coming in. Veil of Summer, Carpet of Flowers. All these cards are good. Force of Will is not that good. And kind of like all my other cards. Might be Thoughtseize. Witherbloom Command kills Bowmaster and hits a land drop. That's probably good enough. Planeswalker side Tamiyo dies to it as well. Right, Thoughtseize and Force of Will's out. All this stuff in. Here we go. Mulligan. No lands at all. Here we go. I'll keep this and put Bargain on the bottom, I think. My opponent's basically playing the real version of my deck. I think this deck is pretty well constructed for what it's doing, but you don't really need green cards, and the black cards hit pretty hard, and you have better mana, and you get to play more Wastelands if you just do the Dimir Tempo, which is a top deck in the Legacy format. Okay, Pluto Delta, go. Hope they Thoughtseize me. Give me this Veil of Summer action. Basic Swamp. Nile Spellbomb. Okay. Ooh, okay, sweet. Another fetch land. Lets me just play Drago even longer. Wasteland. I do have an island and a swamp in the deck. Tamiyo. Alright, cool. Something to do with my mana. If they Wasteland me plus Fatal Push, this would be a great turn. I could just Brainstorm now. Get the gas flowing. If they play Bowmaster, I can push it. They can't Daze. They probably boarded out Force of Will. I am going to Brainstorm right now. Okay, Brainstorm. Fatal Push. had the answer to that one as well. I'll get Tropical Island, cast Veil. They have to have Force of Will here. Cool. We're going all the way in. Brainstorm, Carpet of Flowers rules, put back... Am I going to Wasteland them? I'm going to put back Wasteland and Catacombs, or Wasteland Carpet, just in case I get Thoughtseized. Protect that carpet, which currently makes 0 mana. Alright, they're up against the Tamiyo. Ponder. Getting Spellbombed. Alright, just emergency card draw. This also stops me from Tamiyoing back Veil of Summer. But that's not a great turn for them, all in all. Plus Tamiyo, and I'm going to chill. I don't need to play this. There's a Wasteland on top of my deck that, if they don't hit a land drop, I could be interested in. If they do hit a land drop, I cannot be interested in. Thoughtseize. Okay. I have 2 of the card they're probably going to take, so flashing one out just exposes it to theirs for no reason. Yep, 1 Bowmaster gone. Do I want Wasteland here? I think I do. If we end up fighting over Tamiyo, a turn from now. Okay, sure. Okay, so that's bounced. Do I want Wasteland now? I don't think so. Alright. I'll get Tropical Island, draw for turn, Arctide Region. I'm a ways away from that. Carpet, second main, make 2 blue. I could cast 3/3 Murktide right now. I don't think I'm going to. That's pretty bad into Daze. I'm just going to deploy Tamiyo again. And they don't know about Murktide Region. Passing the turn. Next turn, they could flash and Brazen Borrower to block Tamiyo. I can Fatal Push it, if so. Alright, my Tamiyo's gone. That's fine. Gonna have to deal with it. Wasteland. I am not going to make mana yet. I'm gonna Wasteland them, see what they do. Alright, they did nothing. I'll just Fatal Push Tamiyo with the black in my second main. Or I can make double blue. Or 1 blue, right. Whoops. Misclick. Because I wasn't paying attention. 4/4 Murktide's gonna have to be. It was my plan to Fatal Push and play Murktide. I just don't have Bowmaster up, which was what I was hoping for. Tamiyo. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. Hell yeah. What if I ninjutsu this Murktide? I don't think that's a good idea, but the option is there. Alright, we're dancing around this Bowmaster that's face up. They cannot Kaito from this position. I can't drop in my Bowmaster for the Ninja Ambush because they might have one of their own. I could just play Kaito or Yuriko. I don't think that's going to happen though. Alright, I'm just going to pass. Interesting. Well, they knew I had this, so they must be walking me into something here. They probably just have another Bowmaster in their hand, would be my guess. And they had to start the party somewhere. Okay, their Orc army is attacking as well. Yeah, I'll block it. Oh, well, they obviously have another Bowmaster. Yep. I should not have blocked. That was just very clear from the attack. Ponder. I think Ponder is worth casting. I know it triggers Bowmaster. I haven't forgotten. Brazen Borrower. Does that do anything that I want? Not if I have to draw 2 lands afterwards. Alright, shuffle. Dothy Voidwalker, let's go. That's that boy. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, attack for 4. Dothy Voidwalker is in there. Opponent's at 6, I'm at 15. Now I have 2 creatures worth hitting with Kaito if they find the land and if they have Kaito. Spell Pierce up for something like a Fatal Push or Petty Theft. Leaving back Tamiyo, emergency blocking duty. Cracking a Clue. That's 2 draws this turn. And passing. Ponder. Do I want to Ponder? If I find a removal spell, I can just win. Alright, I will Ponder. Orcish Bowmaster. That's not a removal spell, but it's pretty good. Can I... I didn't hit a 6-drop. That was the other option. Okay. Yuriko, Ponder, Bowmaster, don't shuffle. Okay. They have a 4/4. They're going to be at 3 without a Tamiyo. I'm going to kill their Bowmaster here, which puts 2 blockers in front of their 4/4. Now they got a lot of problems to solve, and they got to do it through a Spell Pierce. And a Yuriko that will flip a 3-drop next turn. Cool. Alright, sweet. satisfying back and forth matchup in the pseudo mirror where they have better mana, but I have more powerful cards. Thoughtseize is the only card I'm still maybe thinking about wanting in here. I think Bargain just gives me a huge advantage. If the game ever gets bogged down, I get to go nuts on that. Voidwalker, strong in the matchup. Strix, just the rockstar. Bowmaster notwithstanding. Yeah, this is the deck. A little slow, but I like a Brainstorm and I like a powerful sideboard card. They did not Thoughtseize me. Basic Swamp. All right, it's getting worse. Fetch land, go. And I'm going to get my Undercity Sewer here. I am not worried about Wasteland this game. Blue to Delta into the graveyard. Well, that's about half the lands in my deck already accounted for. Bright and early. All right, now I have to be careful with this Brainstorm. If they crack their fetch land, I'll probably just send the Brainstorm. All right, they just went to their turn. I can dance around this all the time. The Brainstorm versus Orcish Bowmaster standoff is not really even that much of a standoff because one of these cards costs 2 and one costs 1. Yeah, that's fine. That's dead. Brainstorm. So they're dancing around my Bowmasters. I'm dancing around theirs, and then brainstorming here means that I get to brainstorm. And then hopefully my hand will be a lot better. Ooh, or I could draw a Bowmaster. But the second Bowmaster beats the first one, so I will brainstorm here with the coast clear. Witherbloom, 2 basics. I think I'm going to put back Yuriko or Swamp Yuriko. All my lands are blue, though. It's Island Yuriko. All right, so I'll draw Yuriko next turn. If I have to shuffle, I won't really miss any of these cards. Like, if they Thoughtseize me, I'll veil that. But if I don't have to shuffle, I get to keep Yuriko, Undercity Sewer, Bonder. And just like Yuriko is a little Kaito, Hullbreacher's a big Bowmaster. Got some options here. Okay. I have decided I don't actually want Yuriko. I'm going to fetch now. Get a Trop. Carpet of Flowers, let's go. Another Trop. Carpet. This is good for 2 mana immediately. I can cast Hullbreacher with Veil of Summer up. Yes, make blue. Hullbreacher. Just main phase this shit. I'm not going to have the mana any other time. Bigger than Bowmaster. There's Wasteland, so they can Fatal Push this turn, and I have to kind of telegraph. Okay, cool, they went after my black. I'm holding Basic Swamp. I won't miss that at all. Veil of Summer. We're going to have a counter war here, and they can't cantrip to try to fix it. Yep, Daze. First appearance of Daze in the game. That's fine. It was always possible. They're fetching with 2 mana. I could answer a Murktide. I can answer a Bowmaster. All right, you've got a Bowmaster. I have multiple good answers to Bowmaster, in fact. Okay, I'm going to make blue with Carpet. Or do I want to Witherbloom first? I can make black with Carpet. I do want to Witherbloom the Bowmaster, which means, yeah, I'll make black. Okay, green, black, Witherbloom. I'll mill 3 and kill Bowmaster. Looking for a Wasteland here, but I would take Undercity Sewers. Force of Will, still in the deck. All right. That is legal. All right, I'll play my Bowmaster then. Kill yours, then I'll stick a Ponder. While the coast is clear. Brainstorm and 2 lands. I'm going to shuffle this. Like, the worst card that they could play for me is Bowmaster, which makes Brainstorm terrible, and then I have to draw through the next 2. I'm looking for a Bargain or a Murktide or one of my ninjas here. That's what I want to do. Okay, if they're pushing that, then they probably don't have their own Bowmaster. I'll block. Underground Sea. All right, I'll waste one of their lands here. And it is Brazen Borrower against whatever the last card in their hand is. I have huge draws in my deck. Bigger than their draws. Like, Murktide is probably their biggest draw, and I can bounce that. Rakshas's Bargain goes nuts. Yuriko goes nuts. Yuriko less good now. Spell Pierce, right on time. Right, I'm not going to use Carpet. I can play around Nethergoyf for a little while. Take a hit or 2 from that. I got removal in my deck. Now I can't play around it. Yeah, I'm not messing around with Kaito. If they don't have Kaito, they just got a pretty easy bounce there, but not a card I can afford to fudge around with. All right, sweet. I will make blue and play Brazen Borrower. I fumbled that one pretty bad. Brazen Borrower. And pass into their turn. I think I'm going to upkeep push this thing. Kaito, officially not a problem right now. If they go land Kaito, that's perfect. Spell Pierce his ass. If they have Murktide now, that's a concern. If they're just escaping Nethergoyf, that's fine. Okay, Nethergoyf's back. It is 1 point smaller. Ninja? Baleful Strix, let's go. I love Baleful Strix. Blue in the pool. Blue, black. Strix. Nethergoyf sucks now. Fonder. Oh my god. Alright, just roll them off then. Strix, Fatal Push is the next 3 cards in my deck. Shields are up. Bowmaster's annoying, but I can push it next turn. I lose a Strix along the way. Nethergoyf is still frozen. Spell Pierce chillin'. Carpet of Flowers letting me unload my hand like crazy. Going off. Barrowgoyf, that one's strong, but again, Death Touch. They think they're going to work through my Strixes with their Nethergoyf, but I have more Strixes than you think. A blue mana in the pool. Blue, black, Baleful Strix. Dothy Voidwalker, can't cast that one right now. Attack with Brazen Bee. They got to get through 2 Strixes here, and if they remove a Strix, then Fatal Push is on. Tameo. I am not going to use my Carpet pre-combat. I'll use the second main to do everything all at once. My opponent is at 8. And then black in the pool. Make black, black. Play Tameo. Play Voidwalker. I think we're over the hump here. Something pretty messed up would have to happen. Petty Theft. I've been waiting for a target for the Spell Pierce my entire life. We did it. Now Brazen Borrower is in the void, if I want that later. Orcish Bowmaster is in. Okay, they're taking out a Strix. And no attack. Okay, end step. I'm actually going to push the Barrowgoyf because I do not care about Orcish Bowmaster when I have this much damage on the board. I have 7 unblockable. And I'll put Temu in there too. Put that clue in the bank. If they ninjutsu a Kaito at 1 life, it's not a big deal. And I could draw 2 cards with Tameo here, but Bowmaster, just let it chill. What a battle! That was sweet. Game 1, they showed us why playing fewer colors is better, and Game 3, I showed them why playing more colors is better. Richard Garfield's beautiful mana system, still functioning 30 years later. Let's do it. Next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 3. I cannot keep this hand with only Wasteland for mana. Here we go. Keep this, put this basic swamp on the bottom. In the dark, not knowing if they're Wasteland or not, I'd rather just err on the side of having good mana. Sunbaked Canyon. I think I'm going to see an Ocelot Pride. Alright, Guide of Souls. Same thing. Force of Will, probably not super hyped for this matchup. Thoughtseize you, and just 2 Wastelands. Well, there's that. Ocelot Pride, I'll take that one. At least their hand doesn't really do anything. But me with my basic swamp on the bottom of my deck feeling good. I do have basic island that'll unlock the Brainstorm. Oh, Thalia. Hell no. Hell no. I'm forcing this, probably pitching Brainstorm. Brazen Borrower looks like it's going to be useful. Okay. So they have 2 Wastelands, but I did just unlock the ability to Brainstorm before my mana's all gone. Brainstorm. Oh. I could Wasteland one of their Wastelands. If I put back Wasteland and Force of Will, or Force of Will Wasteland, how does this work? I do not think I am going to Wasteland their Wasteland, at least not yet. Okay, there's their Wasteland, number 1. Guide of Souls attacks for the 2nd point of damage. There's their 2nd Wasteland. And I'm going to fetch Basic Island here. Basic Island achieved. Baleful Strix. That is a someday useful situation thing. If I waste their waste or they waste mine, it's the same thing. So I don't mind tapping out for Brazen Borrower, if that's what this turn comes to. There's a Witch Enchanter, zapped it in. Oh, they're planning on spending mana. Guide of Souls attacking. I'm actually going to waste this meadow right now. If they shocked it in, they must be planning to spend mana with it, and then they went to combat, so they either have a flash threat or... Oh, wow. Wow, that's weird. I wasted a land, and they used it on the way out to sacrifice another land. My kingdom for basic swamp, which I already looked at once this game. Alright, just a land. Let me cast this Baleful Strix, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Their hand must be really bad if they're willing to sack one land to protect another on the way, or to sack another on the way out. Okay, Baleful Strix. We know they have Witch Enchanter that could kill it, but they're a long way off from that. Guide of Souls might finally have to take a break. They're back up to 2 mana. Galvanic Discharge, you got it. That is a 2-for-1. I'm still at a healthy 10 life. Deck full of removal and cool creatures. Aether Vial, okay. That's a sweet Aether Vial. Alright, I can Ponder, or I could just Brazen Bar. I think I want to Ponder. Murderous Cut. And then a land that casts Yuriko. Alright, let's do it. Murderous Cut into my hand, and I'll pass the turn. This is an instant, meaning I can cast it anytime I want. Witch Bless Meadow, shocked it in again. We somehow have almost the same life total, despite me doing nothing this game. Flage, that one's a gamer. Okay. I go to 7. And they're 2 mana away from Flage, because Wasteland doesn't make red or white. I guess I'm going to push anyway, so I probably should have pushed. Or, no, they can spend their energy here, and then I'll push, or then I'll cut. Yeah, I could have stopped them from gaining life and getting the energy, or I can waste their energy now that they have it. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend I did that on purpose or with any sort of intention or clarity. That's just sort of what happened. I think I'm just going to cast Yuriko the Tiger Shadow and protect her for a turn with Force of Will if necessary. And if my opponent puts a creature into play that could block her, I can Brazen Borrow that. Wasteland, you did it. That's fine. Here's the other Yuriko I knew about. That means Force of Will is on. I'm going to Petty Theft the Vial now, in case they have something big enough to beat Yuriko in combat. I want to know about it. But Johnny, fucking A. Yep. Well, that does do it. However, I don't think there's any however here. I think it's just, I have to park this 1-3 in front of my opponent's beats. I needed that to just be a little worse. At least I didn't attack into it, though. I don't think I can afford to Force of Will Aether Vial. They've got 1 card in hand, and they're 1 mana away from Flage, who will destroy me. Johnny's so annoying. There's so much rate on a 2-drop. Okay, I need a Fatal Push. Something that does something. Alright, Tameo. That flies and blocks without killing the cat, which somehow matters. I could even ninjutsu in the other Yuriko off Tameo. I have to legend rule my own shit, but yeah, this is probably going to be bookmarked for Force of Will on Flage. Even though that's a temporary solution, my opponent has 800 cards in their graveyard. I don't think I'm winning this game. Brought to you by bottoming the basic swamp off my mulligan. Alright, the third Witch Blast Meadow of the game. I'm going to Force of Will this Flage, who will just come back next turn. But I certainly can't have it being in play. They had exactly 10 other cards in their graveyard to make that work. Come on, deck. It's not really what I wanted. But neither is it the worst I've ever seen. It can cast Brazen Borrower, or I can crack my clue and have something left over. I go to Nearly Dead. I think I should crack my clue here. Well, that didn't go very far. Okay. They kill Yuriko, attack me for 3, or they go for 3 upstairs, attack with a Johnny and Cat Warrior, and then if I block Cat Warrior, a Johnny deals 2 more to me because they have a red permanent. If I block a Johnny, I go to 1, and I can't use this fetch land. Yeah, I'm super dead. Just interested in what they actually do with this. I'd rather be at 3. Okay, they're going after Tameo, setting up a win all at once for next turn. I still can't block this Cat Warrior, though. This attacks me to 4. And then I fetch to 3 to get Undercity Sewer. And we see if I'm dead. Oh god, Aether Vial. There's a 2-drop left over. Oh, dead anyway. All right, cool. Had it anyway, there we're going. Okay, little creature deck. Hydroblast, Barrogoyf definitely coming in. I didn't really see them draw cards. Hull Breacher's not it. Disruptor Flute could name the Ajani Planeswalker side or Aether Vial, or just make Flage cost a lot more. Could even name Wasteland in a pinch. I could bring in a Surgical Extraction to respect Flage. Don't really want to do that, though. I do have Dothy Voidwalker. Okay, I don't like getting 2 for 1. I'd rather play to the board, though unfortunately their creatures are better than mine, so this is quite a pinch. I think it's probably Thoughtseize and 4 Forces, and then I have 2 Hydroblasts and this other shit. Alright, let's try it. I don't feel confident about this. Okay, I will keep this hand. Orcish Bowmaster, not a card we saw last game. The Sewer, Brazen Borrower is good, even though it's not a land. It's one of my few ways to answer something like Goblin Bombardment. Okay. They took a turn off of wasting me. I appreciate that. I could Thoughtseize, or I could just jam Voidwalker. I'm going to Thoughtseize and then probably also play Tamiyo. Okay. Broadside Bombardiers, Ocelot Pride, Flage, Thalia. I really don't want to play against Thalia. Ocelot Pride I don't care about at all. Thalia is gone. And I'm going to get Basic Island. Almost clicked on Ponder. That's supposed to be Tamiyo. There you go. There she is. If my opponent didn't have Aether Vial, I would have taken Broadside Bombardiers and just let Thalia run into the Bowmaster, but they do have Aether Vial, so that's not how anything works. Elegant Parlor, and they kept the card on top. So we have full information. Black Source? Black Source? Shit. Alright, Ponder, please find a black land. We did it. Okay. I am not going to shuffle. I'll take this. And I will bank the clue because I have to kill this Ocelot Pride anyway. I wish this was a basic, but we know they don't currently have a Wasteland. Okay, there's the Pride. I think I'll just kill it now before they have some trick or some shit that I can't predict. I don't know. Ephemerate. Flicker it. File something in that saves it. Not interested. Pretty bummed I couldn't Bowmaster that for Freezies, though. Marsh Flats. Next turn, Broadside Bombardiers can attack, and they can Violent Flage and throw it. That's a lot. Oh, cool. I still get to kill an Ocelot Pride for free. Life is fair and just. Okay, might have to spend some time dirtling around, though. This next turn is pretty terrifying if they get to play Broadside and Violent Flage. What would I rather play against? Like, I could bounce the Vial, or I could bounce Broadside after it's done whatever it's going to do. Okay. I am going to attack with Tamiyo and just pass. It's certainly not Voidwalker, because that just dies to Flage. They got the full machine rolling here. We know there's a Plateau in hand. There it is. Okay, Broadside from hand means they can Flage as an instant. If I Petty Theft Aether Vial right now, then they don't get to fling with Broadside this turn. Flage is still in the graveyard with 4 cards. I think this is when I should do this. Petty Theft the Vial. Flage will kill Tamiyo. This will also trigger Ocelot Pride because they gained life this turn. There are 4 cards in the graveyard. Drawing a black land this turn is significant. Alright, deck. Black Source, please. Black mana. Swamp. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna Ponder, see if I can deal with this Broadside. The Ocelot Pride. I could just jam Murktide Regent in here. Murktide doesn't go around the Broadside. Murktide is full size here. If they have a fetch land, I'm in a lot of trouble. Okay, I'm taking Murktide Regent and just hoping it's big enough. They've got 2 cards in hand, one of them's Aether Vial. I have to get Underground Sea because my hand is so black heavy. Okay, do they have a big enough thing to throw with Broadside? Do they have land number 4? Is it a fetch land? These are the questions I'm asking right now. They do have land number 4, but it's not a fetch land. Aether Vial and 1 unknown in hand. They could play Aether Vial this turn, throw it with Broadside, and have Flage ready to escape next turn. Getting this Voidwalker down before they have a 5th extra card in the graveyard. Pretty serious business. Everything's attacking. Scary. Well, I'm blocking Ocelot Pride. Nope. Change your mind. Here, I'll block the cat token. All right, Ocelot Pride is going in. Oh, if I block Ocelot Pride, they get Flage now. Oh, that's actually a really good attack. Yeah, I guess I have to block cat token and just take 3. Annoying. If they had not played their land pre-combat, I would have blocked that Ocelot Pride so fast. All right, so that flings at me. I take 5 this combat. Files back. All right, come on, deck. A black land goes a long way here. A removal spell, a big creature. Baleful Strix, not a big creature. Big enough to block Broadside Bombardiers, though. Is that better than Orcish Bowmaster? Is any of this better than Voidwalker? And they, as long as Broadside's around, Voidwalker's going to get me. Okay, I think I'm going to pass with Orcish Bowmaster up. If they draw a card with Sunbaked Canyon in the end step, Bowmaster kills 2 things here. Or it kills just Broadside. That's better, I think. Yeah, kills Broadside. Okay, we are Energy Dark Ritualing here. Oh, Energy Dark Ritualing and getting the card for Flage into the graveyard. Or, yeah, that's what's happening. Okay. Flage is a total of 8 damage, which is my life total, and I can't stop Broadside from attacking, even if I can beat it in combat. Alright, crushed by Flage. I guess I have to draw a card here, and just hope that... What even is there? I don't think I have any outs to this. Yeah, I don't have Force in my deck right now. Fatal Push would have saved me. Yeah, Fatal Push was my draw. Alright. GG. This deck is going to be hell on any sort of tempo deck. They have so many little things that add up in ways that tax you just right. This is the matchup they're looking for with a deck like that one. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. On the play in round number 4, I am going to keep this hand. I can Spell Pierce if I'm in danger of death, and I can Undercity Sewer into Brainstorm to make my deck work. Verdant Catacombs. Savannah. Playing against some Maverick. Okay. Not Maverick. Looks like Green-White Depths. Undercity Sewer. Orcish Bowmaster. Not what I want for a variety of reasons. Basic Island. I could start tempoing them, just like bounce the Reclaimer with Brazen Borrower, but I think I want to get Baleful Strix in the mix here. Just keep the cards flowing. Witherbloom Command, a cool tool in a matchup like this. If they've got Noble Hierarchs or Sylvan Safekeepers, it's a way to pressure those things, way to recur Wastelands, because they're going to be a Wasteland deck too. Echoing Deeps, so make your own Verdant Catacombs, or decline it so you can activate Elvish Reclaimer. Yep, that makes sense too. Cool shit. Okay. I am ready to cast Rakshas's Bargain. Alright, we are reclaiming in response to my attack. If they try to speedrun Merit Lage, wow, that's so weird. They're scared of Kaito. That's what's going on. That is actually the texture of what's going on. Would you turn a colorless land into a different colorless land to gain 1 life? Usually no, but right here, I guess so. I have Murderous Cut available. I could do that later. I could do that now. I could Witherbloom Command, but it doesn't kill anything. Yeah, I think I'm going to chill and just end step Bargain. If I didn't have the reload with the same mana, I would just cut here. Because getting a Reclaimer while it's tapped is nice, but they're clearly living in fear of Kaito, so maybe I can manipulate the situation a little bit. And they just played a Yavimaya, thanks for that. At my Misty Rainforest. Dothe Voidwalker, Brainstorm, Land, Tameo. If I take Voidwalker plus land, they do use their graveyard a bit. It's an unblockable creature. And Tameo's fine, but she doesn't apply pressure the way that I want here. And I drew another one anyway. I knew that was there. What were you worried about? Okay, if they were scared of Kaito last turn, maybe they'll be scared of Kaito this turn. Swords to Plowshares. Hell yeah. Deal. Okay, fetch for an Underground Sea. And we'll go into the Void. Void, walk with me. Rotating in response, as one does. Getting Dark Depths. I am holding Brazen Borrower in my grubby little hand. And I think I would like to see this Elvish Reclaimer in the Void. I could fetch Bayou to have my colors set if they rotate away their own Yavimaya. Or I could get Underground Sea and hope that they need that Yavimaya to play the game. I'm going to get Underground Sea. Murderous Cut. It's also my main phase. How did that happen? Okay, cut this thing, and I still get to play Tamiya. Oh, because they responded to Voidwalker, so their land didn't get exiled. That's how that happened. Alright, if they have Thespian Stage, I have Brazen Borrower, and we can play a game. Now they don't have Reclaimer to set up a multi-turn, locked solid, Dark Depth situation. Alright, they're doing it right now, and they are representing Crop Rotation, a card that I can Spell Pierce. And the Depths and the Stage go to the Void. Not that these decks normally play Life from the Loam anyway. Alright, they would need a pretty weird sequence of things to get out of this. I am going to Petty Theft this Merit Lage with Spell Pierce back up. I hope they do have Crop Rotation, honestly. Crop Rotation, Spell Pierce. Cool. Alright. They went all in on Merit Lage, but I had the answers. Disruptor Flute looks good here. That might be it. Barrogoyf. Any matchup that might be about creatures, we bring in Barrogoyf. I don't think I'm going to be breaching any halls. Yeah, that's it. If you counter the Dark Depths trigger, it just triggers again. Like, sacrificing it is part of the trigger resolving, not part of the cost. And then if you counter the trigger that is trying to sacrifice Dark Depths to make Merit Lage, the game will then see a Dark Depths and play with no counters on it, and it'll just happen again. So don't fall for that shit. That's not a real thing. Okay, I think -1 Orcish Bowmaster is fine. -1 Force of Will. They are a little bit of a combo deck, so I don't want to be empty on that, but less is fine. And -1 Yuriko. I don't think she's going to connect very often versus what my opponent's doing. But one's still in for the high rolls. Okay, force blue card Thoughtseize Barrogoyf. My entire game plan is laid out before you. Disrupt them, jam some idiot that's bigger than their idiots. Game. 101 to 6. I have to respect Veil of Summer now, even though I don't wanna. I will not be Thoughtseizing into open green mana. Green, this is a Zenith for 1. Alright, let's do a count. Misty Rainforest gets Surveil Land. That's 2 cards in my graveyard. Fetch, that's 3. Thoughtseize, that's 4. So I could cut whatever this is and Thoughtseize in this turn. I don't need to use my force. Deal. I do have to surveil whatever I hit, though. But I think that's worth it. Hopefully it's not just, like, the best card in my deck. Undercity Sewer. Witherbloom Command. I can live without that. Witherbloom Command. Thoughtseize you. Take Knight of the Reliquary. Their hand is 3 lands. Fetch for Bayou. Cut this murderous little fella. Bang. Next turn, Barrogoyf with Force backup. I even have Sheoldred's Edict to beat Merit Lage. Wasteland. Not a bad draw. Good way to waste time. Another force means I could cast my Brainstorm. Come on! Alright. Brainstorm, 2 lands, we did it. Put back Edict and push. Or put back Edict and drop. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Can we play on? Can they draw their other 2 Wastelands in a row? Let's find out together. Maybe push should have been on top, because if they draw and play a 3-drop right now, then push can't get it, and I could have edicted it. Alright, we're back in business. Barrogoyf. If they have another land that makes mana, they could zoot in Talon Gates for 4 from their hand and stop Barrogoyf for a turn. Okay, that's probably the plan. The ramp strat. Attack. Ooh, they didn't do it. Cool. Milled 3 cards, 2 lands, and Thoughtseize. Disappointing, but okay. Gotta be a little suspicious of this scrub land. They might have Orcish Bowmaster in their deck. Dumped Verdant Catacombs, Talon Gates, Dark Depths in there. So they may have known about the Talon Gates interaction, but decided the Surveil was worth more. Okay, Barrogoyf, get in there again. Here it comes. Okay, Barrogoyf's gonna phase out. 2 cards in their hand. And one of their protection spells from Merit Lage is now spent. And I don't really have to do anything here. My hand is ready to protect me from a variety of things that might happen. Choke. Well, I don't want to play against that. If their hand is Veil of Summer, that's a little frustrating. Okay, I'm going to force pitching force. Okay, we survived the choke. Dried Arbor's in. Do I push this Dried Arbor? Or do I let them chump for a turn? I think I let them chump. Yeah, this is fine. Now I do have something worth brainstorming away, but I don't know what my problems are yet, so I'm going to hold on to it. Okay, well, now I need a solution. I'm going to brainstorm here. All right, I found some more pressure. This is solid. I could put back this Delta and Bargain. And then Barrowglyph's gone. Flash and Bowmaster to apply pressure. Bargain's ready to reload. As long as I'm attacking, I'm feeling okay here. If the game bogs down into nobody doing anything, I'm not going to like that. Voidwalker. Probably should have gone to second main for that one. Just in case they have Swords to Plowshares and speed it off on my Bowmaster. Now they know I have a Voidwalker. And I think I will just draw this blue to Delta. That Brainstorm it was a preview. It didn't actually do any selection of cards for me. Just told me what might be coming in the future. They could have something like Endurance to jump in and block, but I'm ready for that with my Fatal Push. Caracas, my poor Yuriko. Good thing she's in the sideboard. End Step Bargain. So busted. Every time I say it. End Step Bargain. Just makes me happy. Yeah, they're done with that. They were fine with everything else, but Rakshasa's Bargain, not interested. On to the final round. Let's go. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line. Keep this beautiful Bug Beans looking hand. I'm going to lead on Sewers and hope my opponent wants to play fair. Okay, opponent kept 7. Sewer sees Fatal Push. I have Witherbloom Command Bowmaster. I'm going to actually bin Fatal Push. If this turns out to be Delver or Death and Taxes, that'll be disappointing, but that is a redundant piece of interaction with the multiple conditional but effective removal spells in my hand. An Ursa Saga and a Manifold Key. Lotus Petal. Okay, so we're playing against some sort of Mystic Forge combo. Drew a Fatal Push anyway. Magic's easy. I could ponder looking for Force of Will, or I could deal with this Manifold Key with Witherbloom Command. I think I'd like to ponder. Surviving the first wave of the combo, then using the fair pieces to cut out the remaining resources sounds like a game plan I'd like to be part of. And there's Force of Will right on top. I'm not even going to change the order of these cards. Do not shuffle. Play Polluted Delta and pass. Bargain, doing the other thing that it's really good at, which is being all the colors. Every color in Magic is Bargain. Another Saga. Okay, that's not an Ancient Tomb, so if they're planning on Saga gaming, it's going to cost them Lotus Petal, and then they probably have to tutor something like Mox Opal to continue. Do I want Tameo? I think Tameo's fine. She is a blue card I could pitch to Force, and that lets me keep Bargain. And if opponent dirtles too hard, I'll just Bargain and go way over the top. All right, they did not make a construct. I will fetch one of each dual land here. Drop Bayou. Just get the colors. Don't want to get cheesed by a Pithing Needle, even though I'm not sure how much that would actually do. Mox Opal confirmed. Assault Monolith. This is worth a lot of mana to them. I think I want to force this. pitching Tameo, and then I'll bargain in the end step and do something with Wither Bloom command on my turn. Hopefully I just find Wasteland off this bargain. That would make this game a lot easier. Bargain. Fatal Push, Children's Edict. Neither of those are really exciting. Children's Edict can answer Karn if it comes down. All right, I'll take Misty and Children's Edict. Draw for turn. Wasteland, please. All right, not a Wasteland. I'm going to... Is it Manifold Key or Mox Opal I want to destroy? It's probably Manifold Key. Their whole deck is built around those. Okay. Target player mills 3, destroy target thing. Mill myself, could still hit Wasteland this turn. Take out Manifold Key. Though, Key can pop out of Saga. Opal, some of these lists only have one Opal these days. I think I have to worry about Key more. Take out the Key, mill myself for 3, hope Wasteland is there. Not a Wasteland. I'll take Underground Sea and deploy it. Okay. Passing the turn. Hope I don't die here, but it's possible. I can answer Karn. Bowmaster can provide some pressure on the One Ring, but they do have 6 cards in hand. That's how Mana Screw works. That means your hand is all gas. Candelabra, terrifying. Ancient Tomb, that's worth some mana here. Untapping Ancient Tomb, so they have 6 mana available right now. Mystic Forge, that's the one I'm not ready for. It's also the worst one. A little win-win there. Exile their top card. And looks like they're passing. Bowmaster could start taking points here. They're at 15 from their own cards. They did 5 damage to themselves this turn. Alright, deck, something good. I would take a Wasteland. I would take a Ninja. Alright, Wasteland, what's up? Wasteland, this Ancient Tomb. Mana is the biggest gate right now. I think I actually should have Wastelanded in the upkeep. That way Fatal Push is on if they end up with a Glaring Fleshraker in play this turn. And then I could keep Children's Edict for Karn. Yeah, I beefed that. Alright, looks like I'm getting away with it, but that was not perfect sequencing. Attack for 2. And pass. Now I could deal with the Fleshraker. They did not clear their top card with Mystic Forge. Lotus Petal. Planar Nexus. 4 mana. A second Mystic Forge barely does anything. The One Ring is subject to Bowmaster beats. Karn is covered. Fleshraker's covered. I'd like to be doing a lot more damage than I am. A Kaito or a Yuriko are what I want most here. The way their mana works, they would have to sacrifice Lotus Petal to untap Planar Nexus to get a Kozilek's Command on the stack. They only have 1 colorless. Ooh, that's solid. That is more damage, which is all I'm trying to do here. Yeah, they can exile my army without losing a Lotus Petal, but if they want the Bowmaster, they have to spend real mana here. Oh, this is going to be sick. They're going to draw, scry 2, draw 1. Okay, they're not sure what they want to do here. I think they have Kozilek's Command, though. That appears to be what they're trying to navigate. Okay, after some debate, they have gone for Kozilek's Command, and make 2 spawns is the other mode. Okay. This is in exile then. Can't stop that. You get your spawns. Are you planning on blocking? Okay, no block. I'm gonna play the other Bowmaster now and target one of the spawns. They can fizzle this by sacking the spawn, but if they need this mana, and I think they do, that's worth doing. Okay. All right, so that fizzles. They still take 1. They spent 2 Lotus Petals to do that. They currently only have 2 mana. I don't think I'm supposed to Fatal Push this spawn. And I'm keeping these lands back in case I draw a Brainstorm someday. Versus Workshop. That is worth 2, 3 mana on this board. Okay, there's the Karn. We've been waiting our whole lives for this. I hope they tutor something I don't care about, like Liquid Metal Coating. Okay, here's a tutor. Walking Ballista. That's not nothing. If I had Fatal Pushed, that would have been better. Okay, Walking Ballista's in. I'd like my opponent to sacrifice a Planeswalker. I don't have a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck. I don't think there's room for it, but it would be bonkers here. Good spell, good spell. I don't know if the spell is good yet. Probably is. All right, I'm going to attack. I'm going to let them decide what their Ballista's going to do before they know they're getting Thoughtseized. Like block army, ping Bowmaster is probably what it's going to do. Yes, indeed. Thought sees you. Forge, Karn, Ugin. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I guess I take Karn and hope they never get to Ugin. Alright, it's not pretty, but there it is. I think I'm losing this game now. I needed one of these last few anemic draws to just be some reload or something solid, and it was not. And screw beats Flood. My opponent was mana screwed for a while I flooded out. Versus Workshop, now I die to Ugin. I do not have another out to this card in my deck. Manifold Key coming off the top. Yeah, I don't need to see anymore. You got it. Okay, Consigns come in. Baragor's big enough to hit. Force of Negation, Hull Breacher, Disruptor Flute. Grafdigger's Cage turns off Mystic Forge. But that is the worst of their things. Murderous Cut, I'm out on. Fatal Push can get lower. But the Glaring Fleshraker is still a card I have to respect, at least a little bit. Bowmaster's good. Voidwalker's fine. Strix is blue. Tamiyo's kind of anemic, but I do need to keep my ninjas online. I like Edict for its ability to answer the Planeswalkers, as we saw come up that game. I think I'm going to cut my basic swamp. 19, I think, is enough lands to play this, and my opponent's not going to hurt my mana. Maybe I actually shave a Kaito here and leave the Yurikos in. My opponent's deck doesn't have that many creatures in it, and if Yuriko can go uncontested, that's really good. I'm worried about cutting creatures, but at the same time, it's like, they are the worst cards. Ponder might be a little slow for this matchup, but like we saw last game, my Kingdom for a Ponder, that would have, while we were flooding out, a Ponder probably would have found just like one more thing to do. And if I cut a land, I don't want to cut a Ponder. It's one or the other, because Ponder is part of your mana base too. I could go minus another Fatal Push. I hate having to spend counterspells on Glaring Fleshraker when I have ways to kill it, but I also hate losing to the other cards of the deck. I am bringing in Barrogoyf and Hull Breacher. Maybe I can live with fewer creatures. Alright, I'm going to cut Fatal Push and bring in all this action. That was a tough last decision to make. I'll keep this hand. It's full of good cards. And Murktide, a real pressure. Okay, Verdant Catacombs with the intention of fetching my Undercity Sewer. Starting with 3 lands in my hand feels good when I've boarded one out. We got away with it. Lotus Petal, Pithing Needle. This will probably name Wasteland, but I will fetch in response just in case. Alright, Polluted Delta on top. I hope they don't name Polluted Delta with this. That would be such a crazy high roll. Wasteland confirmed. Okay, Polluted Delta, pass. Working my way to Rakshas's Bargain. Ancient Tomb. Some 4-drop. The One Ring. I will consign that to memory. And I'm going to fetch a Trop in the end step for that sweet, sweet deck thinning value. Underground Sea and pass. See what their follow-up play is here. Workshop is not on. They have exactly 4 mana. I'm going to bargain in response and try to hit a different green card or a different blue card. Brainstorm, Disruptor Flute. I could just take Flute here, turn off the One Ring, and then use Brainstorm to protect Murktide Regent. Yeah, they get 1 card, they get protection for 1 turn. Yeah, I'm going to take Brainstorm, Disruptor Flute here. Right, you've got your ring. They drew a card. The ring is now burdened. Underground Sea, Murktide, Disruptor Flute, naming the One Ring. Okay. They're dead in 3 hits, and I have 1 Force of Will to get me through it. Urza's Saga. Assault Monolith is not my fight. I'm pretty scared of Ugin, but I can counter at least the Planeswalker side of it. Okay, Murktide attack. I don't have other ways to remove cards from my graveyard, so I don't need to brainstorm ahead of time here. Laying out this Delta makes my brainstorm worse, but lets me hardcast Force. I'm into that. Well, they have trillions of mana. Alright, they paid the extra for 1 ring. This will give them, it will remove the burden. I attack for 5, 6, ping them for 7. They can't use Ancient Tomb. I think I should force this, actually. And I am going to use Pitch Brainstorm, even though I had the 5 mana. Right, they're making their construct now. End step, Bowmaster. So they go to 8. I attack them to 3. One ring puts them to 2, where the Ancient Tomb doesn't work anymore. Oh, they're conceding to that? Okay. I mean, I was pretty worried about the second construct in the tutor and the draw step. Like, what if you draw Kozilek's Command? You just win. Okay. Well, I'm not going to complain about an opponent conceding. I feel like Kaito might be better than I thought. Just the ability to hit them for real damage seems pretty important. Not that I didn't think Kaito's good. There's one in the deck. It's just the squeeze of, at some point, you're out of deck space. I'm not playing 61 with the Kaitos. Like, it's probably Dauthi Voidwalker if I want Kaito in, but I'm running thin on enabling creatures anyway. All right, second Kaito is out. I don't think I've ninja Kaito yet in this league. I don't think Kaito has been in play. I don't even know if Kaito's been in my hand in this league. Yuriko's done a bunch, but Kaito, not so much. All right, this is not as good as my hand last game that had 2 pieces of interaction, but I am going to keep the 1 piece. I'll be king of the pirates one day. Hate that. Well, have to counter it. Pitching Yuriko. Wasteland? Consignment memory? Shit. Alright. Well, we might die here. Saga. Soul Guide Lantern. You got it. My deck has done a good job convincing people it's a graveyard deck. And I guess it kind of is. Like, it's not a graveyard deck, but it's also definitely not a graveyard deck. Undercity Sewer. Love a Consigned Memory. Brazen Borrower. That's not the worst card I can think of. Therefore, I'll take it. Tropical Island Pass. Do they want to settle into Saga Gaming, or are they going to try to do something real? This Grim Monolith, there's so much mana here. They could cast Ugin right now, but there's nothing to exile. Kind of a low impact Ugin. 7 mana, draw a card. Okay, I will Bowmaster in the end step. This will not attack very effectively because they have giant constructs. But I have Edicts and Borrowers that can try to keep the constructs in line, as I hope to draw Consigned Memory every turn of every game. Okay, Slam Barrowgoyf, Slam Voidwalker, hold up the Pitiful Interaction that I have. I think I should hold up the Pitiful Interaction that I have. Okay, they're using Grim Monolith to do this, which tells me they're planning on tutoring for Key. Do they make a second construct, or do they just float and tutor Key? Okay, I will fetch Bayou in response here. I actually need my mana, even if they do want to F around here with Pithing Needle, which is not very good for them, while Key is excellent. Bouncing Grim Monolith barely does anything here. Urza's Workshop, good for 2 mana. I will just... I guess I'll block with Orc Army. No reason to take this beat. Orc Army's not getting back in on the other side. Bunch of mana being tapped in combat. Someone's got Kozilek's Command. Exile and Scry Draw. Alright, they do want to Scry Draw this time. Unfortunately, I have no recourse for this. And my deck is not constructed, really, to fight Mystic Forge combo on all the axes you need to. Like, I don't have a Null Rod, which is a card you could just include in your sideboard if this is a deck you're seeing in your metagame. Okay, I do get 1 more ping for the road because of how the order happens on these things. I think that now has incentivized me to actually remove this construct. I get to keep a 2/2. I can make them sack their next thing. Maybe there's actual damage to be done here. Again, drawing a black source, pretty good for me. That's been a theme this league. Brainstorm. Do you help me at all? I mean, yes. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, Brainstorm. Kaito. You're not going to get in here, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think here I put back Barrowgoyf Kaito, and then I hold up Childred's Edict in case a Planeswalker hits, and I can drop in Brazen Borrower to get Kaito going if a Planeswalker doesn't hit. The alternative is Dauthi Voidwalker, cross my fingers that I'm not dead. I am going to pass. Yeah, I'll just pass. I got the Brazen Borrower. That hits just as hard as Dauthi Voidwalker. They're both unblockable in the matchup. Voidwalker taps me out into Ugin, where Brazen Borrower can dance around it a little bit. I could also Edict them if they make another construct now, before the second one comes in, and then cast Kaito from hand, stun their construct, attack for 2. It's completely shields down if they have the any combo follow-up, but it might have to be. All right, I'm going to make them sack a creature token. Creature token of your choice. Okay, they did not Kozilek's command in response to make new ones. Candelabra, big mana, but they've always had big mana. That was never going to be a game plan I could contain after like turn 1 of this game when they had the defense grid. Monolith is untapped. They're untapping Workshop, which only taps for 1 right now. So that was a mana wasted. I guess, I mean, not really wasted, but it didn't actually do anything. Unless they have another land. There we go. Okay. And they didn't want to take 2 to get the extra land off Ancient Tomb. So whatever they're trying to do, they have the mana for it. And Ugin is not beatable. All right. GG. Okay. A positive record. Playing, and we beat the kind of normal decks I would expect. We lost to Mystic Forge combo with Ugin and Mardu Boros Energy from Modern, which the Boros Energy deck is going to be tough for anyone trying to play fair and use cards like Thoughtseize or Shoulder's Edict to get a good exchange. The Mystic Forge combo, I think it could have been done. I mean, we have the tools. We just need to like get a little lucky and them to get a little unlucky. I think if we both draw average hands, they're probably favored, but I need them to be, you know, mull to 6, and then I have a consigned to memory or some powerful hate piece or something. That didn't happen. Happened in one of the games, didn't happen in the others. But this deck was fun to play. What creatures you want in your creature package, how normal you want to be, whether you want to play Yuriko or not. You'll max out on Strix, max out on Tamiyo, don't play Voidwalker, play 3 Murktides instead of 1. There's lots of things you can do here. And it does lend itself to really nice back and forth, making exchanges, whittling away their life points magic, literally as Garfield intended. This was a delight to play and successful enough that Raghava, I hope that you are inspired and you're able to take this starting point and play on in life, iterate on the deck, and have a lot of fun with it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.